Okay. Couple of warm-ups to begin. Finding our settled feet on the ground. They say the mind should be 80% in the base, 80% from here downwards when we do Tai Chi. All the movements follow what we do in the base. So we want the base to be smoothly moving, smoothly changing, as accurate as possible, so the rest of the body can follow what we do in the base. So we settle the base onto the ground. And how we organize the body determines how the feet connect to the ground. We want to make sure the outside edge of the foot is available to drop our weight into. That's the first thing, is to soften the feet, soften the muscles in the feet, let them spread, let the toes spread, let the foot be wide and open and receiving. And then from there we can lift up both the chest and the back of the neck, plucking up the crown of the head, and then softening the body. We want to feel, as we soften the body down, we want to feel the support through the body that's present. So it's like the muscles fall off the bones outwards. Muscles normally bind the bones, bind the joints, hold the joints in place. And when we soften the muscles, it releases, and there should be a feeling of the chest getting wider, the lower back getting wider, the upper back getting wider as the shoulders drop. And you'll feel that fullness as the flesh or the muscles fall off the bones, coming right through the arms, even into the fingers. You'll feel fuller. The thighs definitely feel fuller and more dense, as under the weight of the body, but also under the letting go process. And the whole body feels like it's opening outwards. What needs to release downwards will. What needs to fall downwards will. What needs to float up, which is the rising support inside the body, will rise through to the crown of the head. So we have a balance of something sinking downwards and something supporting us rising upwards. The rising force that supports us upwards is sometimes talked about as hanging from the crown of the head. I prefer to think about it as coming from the feet, gradually supporting us upwards. It's difficult to feel, and it's difficult to know when you found it, because it can be a rising force that's generated with tightening muscles. But of course, we want the muscles to be releasing as much as possible. And the rising force comes from an organization and a stacking of the skeleton and the frame of the body. We find this more clearly when the base is small, when our heels are together. We also want to feel the same rising force when we are in a parallel stance, or when we're in a bow stance as well. When we're in a parallel stance, we feel the support rising through the body around which we can let go. We'll do the first loosening exercise. We transfer to one leg. The hips turn to open up the body. The hips continue turning to sink. The hips turn and we square and open up. And the hips continue to turn and we sink. But basically there's no stopping in the middle. It's one smooth movement through the middle to the other side. So I'm pouring the weight from one leg, square, and into the other without a gap. The movement is smooth, but the changes are continuous, and the movement is smooth without stopping. At this level of training, having done the form, having done many years training, what to ensure is that as you move, each time you move the weight of the body from one leg to another, we're looking for stability and finding stability. So the movement of my center of gravity towards the leg, towards the foot, comes from releasing the muscles, allowing the center of gravity to press in and the rest of the body to balance on it. So I feel nice and stable. I don't feel like my ankle is holding or biting. I don't feel like my knee is moving. I feel very assured that I'm relaxed over that foot, slightly turned to the corner. And as soon as I drop to this side, there's a sinking quality. The muscles in the base are softening. And I'm drawing myself downwards towards the foot. If I find myself going down too low, the ankle will tighten. If I find my knee coming in, the hips will tighten, stop changing. I need to notice any of these things and make an adjustment to my movement so they can become more refined. I notice my head dropping. I notice my body curving. Whenever I notice anything, I'll make an adjustment and simply become more parity with what I'm trying to achieve. That involves noticing, watching what you're doing, feeling sensations of what you're doing, turning the hips to move the arms, turning the hips to draw the arms in, turning the hips to move the arms, turning the hips to draw the arms in. The arms feel like they're very, very, very slightly lagging behind. You know, sometimes you see a car, wedding car, and it's got a row of cans all stringed behind it, and the cans are pulled by the car. They're lagging behind. They move with the car, but they're being pulled by the car. And the arms are similar to that. They're not doing the movement themselves. They are being drawn by whatever the center is doing. However the center moves, in a turning fashion, in a moving across fashion, in a spiraling fashion, downwards, like a vortex downwards towards the foot. The upper body follows, the shoulder girdle follows, the elbows follow, and the hands have to follow. Whatever the elbows do, the hands will do. However the elbow drops, the hand will drop. However the shoulders drop, the elbow will drop. So we coordinate all parts of the body through the base, sinking the base, the upper body follows, shoulders follow, the elbows and hands. This is the simple coordination of the body that needs to be in place before we can go further into the synchronization of how one part of the body leads to the next part of the body, like a flow of lava. Like a flow of lava. One part leads to the next part changing. Second exercise, please. Here we want to ensure that the base is nice and smoothly sinking, that we drop a quarter on the first swing of the arms, that we drop a quarter on the second swing, that we drop a quarter on the third, we drop a quarter on the fourth. And that movement is in one smooth change downwards. What most beginners do is they soften quickly and drop about half of their weight on the first swing of the arms and then catch their body from falling. They tighten or they bounce or they stop their body from falling. There's a sudden bounce into the structure. We want to lower ourselves into the structure, so there's very smooth changes. And without hitting the bottom, without there being tense at the bottom, we start the lifting process. And without there being a stopping at the top, we begin the releasing process. So there's no real top and no real bottom, because as soon as I'm finding the bottom, I'm already beginning to lift. Smoothly and release. So just as before I get to the top, I start releasing the base. Just before my upper body comes down, I start the lifting process of the base. So I don't end up being stuck at the bottom. I don't end up being totally stretched and open. Third exercise. I'm transferring my weight to this leg. With it, there's a spiraling movement and a sinking movement, but there's no moving across. So I'm turning and I'm releasing. This brings this hip forwards, and as I turn and as I sink, the opposite hand goes out. So now my right hand is out, my weight is in the left. I square and it draws in this arm. And as I sink onto my right leg, the left hip goes forwards and the arm goes out. Turning finishes at the same time as the hand reaches the top. Turning finishes as the hand reaches the top. Sinking finishes as the hand reaches the top. So the sinking, turning, and the hand going out coincide. Timing of the movement is that the turning, the sinking, and the hand going out are all together. Sink, turn, release the arm. Sink, turn, release the arm. As I said earlier, the movement any movement of my weight between my legs must be sinking and stabilizing. I mustn't move over my legs. I must move into my legs. The legs must be receiving my weight, not supporting my weight. There's a difference between the muscles of the leg simply staying static and receiving my weight, or the muscles of the leg releasing. How much do they release? The proportion, they release proportionately to the amount of weight moving towards it. So it's like pushing into a beach ball. When you push into a beach ball, a small amount of push, the beach ball releases a little bit. Full push, the beach ball fully supports your weight. So the leg is exactly the same. How much release? Slowly, absorbing the weight of the body downwards into stability. How much focus in the base? 80%. When the base is accurate, and the base is doing the right thing, and the base is fluid, and the muscles are softening, the upper body will follow. the movement to the foot is a folding of the hip joint. This hip joint, like a book, folding, closing. You can see the crease here folds, folding into the crease. The other side opens. When I turn the other way, this side folds and this side opens. So the muscles around this inguinal region need to be free to change, because if this doesn't fold and I move, I will bring my hips into the wrong position. It will move, instead of the muscles changing and the skeleton being free to move, what will happen is the muscles will hold the skeleton in place, and as I try and turn, it will turn the thigh. Okay? We don't want the thigh to turn because this puts tension into the leg. We want the thigh to relax and the hips to close in towards the thigh. So the thigh, if you look at the thigh, it stays relatively still. The thigh stays relatively still. What I don't want to do is turn the hip and push the thigh backwards. Don't want to turn the hip and move the thigh. I want there to be freedom between the thigh and the pelvis. That means the muscles allow a folding quality. So if you see this pen, if you look at the pen, when I fold here, the pen doesn't move. When I turn here, the pen doesn't move. If I was not to fold, the pen would move. This is my hip and my thigh moving together, and you'll feel a pull on the foot. The weight will change in your foot. Fold here and the pen doesn't move. Put the pen here, turn the other way, fold, the pen doesn't move. The pen doesn't move. Don't fold and the pen moves back and forth. And the knee moves back and forth, and the foot rolls on the ground. So I use the pen because you can see it. It's hard to see the trousers and tell what's going on. But basically what you want to try and do, when you move your center of gravity towards your foot, think of a spiraling movement downwards. Let go. Look for stability. Turn back. Let go. Look for stability. Turn back. Change your mind to look for stability. Your focus has to change towards the foot. Towards the foot. Feel how the center of gravity falls and spirals towards the foot, and how your muscles change to allow this to take place. The feedback mechanism you get of whether you're doing it well is how grounded you feel, how stable and how relaxed and soft the foot receives your weight. If your foot is receiving your weight well, your thigh isn't being rolled around by the turning of the hips, then your base is organized and you're free then to focus on a different part of the body. 80% to get the base really working well. That same quality is there in the form. So in the form, embrace tiger, return to mountain is a bow stump. With the right foot forwards, the hips facing forwards, the weight in the center. The hands are on the center line. The right arm is parallel to the thigh. So this line here is parallel with the front thigh. The left arm is in push position. Fingers on the center line. This is like the top of the ball and the bottom of the ball. It's like I'm pushing the ball this way to the corner, but instead of it being an obvious ball that I'm pushing, it's more hidden. hands are just relaxed rather than loosely pushing. But if I was touching somebody, the hands would wrap around the person's, maybe their arm or maybe their thigh, and I'd turn and push. This is a push to the corner. Push comes because I need to be grounded. So instead of moving over the front foot, I'm doing exactly the same as exercise number 3. I'm softening the front hip and I'm spiraling my weight into the foot, but I'm not moving the position of my center of gravity. I'm staying in the center and turning towards the front foot. This movement, which is exactly the same as exercise number 3. What I'm doing in base is exactly the same. My thigh isn't rolling, my foot isn't rolling, my weight isn't shifting across. My weight isn't shifting across. I'm staying in the center, just turning and dropping my weight to the ground. Here, embrace tiger return to mountain, exactly the same, with a sinking feeling through the leg. As I turn back, as I turn the hips square, the timing is that the hands turn over. So the alignment from my crown to the center doesn't change. I turn and turn back. I don't move across. I move back. I simply turn. So imagine a thread from the crown of the head. That thread stays in place. I turn and I turn back. Turn and I turn back. Now I move my center towards the back foot, sitting back, keeping square. Sit away from the front wrist. Front wrist stays where it was. I don't push it away. I don't bring it towards me. I sit away from the front wrist and I drop. The left hand is pulled and it drops onto the center. Turn open. The hand lifts with the turn. Remember, I'm not moving my thighs. I'm folding here to open. Turn back. Turning here, and the releasing of the shoulder turns the hand over. Center. Small expansion of the base through to the wrists, sit back. Don't separate the hands. This is movement of the arms independently. Release the body. Shoulders drop, elbows drop, hands separate as a result. Coming forwards and push. Let's go from here. Facing in the form, Hapas 4. Hands in position, body released. Look for the stability before we start. Look for your alignment. Look for the rising force that stabilizes you. Look for the sinking release that grounds you. Soften and turn. I want you to explore how far you can turn and remain stable. I want you to explore how far you can turn before it feels like your center wants to start to move across to your foot. I want you to explore what happens to your lower back as you melt towards the foot. Can you include the releasing of your lower back and the softening into the folding of the hip joint? When you turn, your body's turning this way, your shoulder stays where it is, your shoulder opens, the shoulder changes because your torso is moving around your arms. If the arms stay still and the shoulders, the torso moves, you'll have opening and closing here in these joints, very similar to the opening and closing you have here. This is opening. This is closing. This joint. These joints change exactly the same as the hip joints. Turn back. Make sure you're square. Don't overturn. Turn to the corner. Turn back. Make sure your center hasn't moved its position. Turning one way, turning back. Square. Sit back. Away from the front wrist, relaxing, dropping the left hand. Turn open. Make sure when you turn, you're not rolling your thighs, you're folding to turn. You're sinking and you're stabilizing, folding, drawing the hand out. When we talk about the arm being long and the movement coming underneath the arm, not because the arm moves. Turn back, fold, square. Turning here, back, shoulder drops, hand turns over. Now the palms are facing each other. Center, touch, press. Draw back. And right hand underneath slides until the fingers are just touching. The reason they separate and go into the push position is because the upper body follows the base down and forwards. Shoulders drop, elbows open outwards as shoulders open. Separate the hands into the push position. Small push to the fingers. Try that section yourselves a few times. Ask if there are any questions or if there's any observations in the movement. Make sure the hands only separate because there's a releasing and sinking through the shoulders, which drops the elbows outwards. When the shoulders relax, it drops the elbows outwards. This movement of the elbows will draw the fingers apart. This releasing is on the way in. So you sit back and the hands are together. And as you come in, you start to sink. With the sinking of the body comes the releasing of the shoulders, the dropping outwards of the elbows. That's when the hands separate. So don't sit back and separate. Sit back together, separate on the way in. Understand where the movement of the hands comes from and why it's not just a movement of the hands. It comes because the whole body changes. What we want to start to feel are these releasings that come through the whole body and affect the hands. So the hands are like the tip of the whip or the tip of the silk scarf. They don't move by themselves. They move because further down the chain, there's been a change. And the hands are responding and feeling that change. This is why we do the movement slowly and mindfully to notice the sensation in the body. Allow the body to be much freer and looser, more fluid. Okay. If there's anything with your practice, you found anything new, or there's any comments, or there's anything you're unclear of, feel free to ask. We'll explore it together. Okay, good. Let's go from cross hands in the form. Take the time to rise the body up before softening off and releasing downwards. Looking for the support that supports you, looking for the releasing, letting go of the muscles you don't need. Let the shoulder girdle sit on the rib cage. Feel the back opening wider. Center of gravity spirals towards the right foot. Turn, lift the left hand. Sit away from the right hand as the left folds in as you continue to turn to the left foot. And all the weight is in the left foot, slide in the right toes, step out with the heel, glide into the center. Embrace time to return to mountain. Carry on. Sit back, the hands parallel to the floor and they open out. Find the left foot, turn the hips, the hands follow. Keep turning as you move to the right. Turn back, drop the left hand underneath on the center line. Step with the heel, move into single whip. In single whip, if you need to make any adjustment to your step, if you need to make any adjustment to where your hips are facing, or the accuracy of the posture, or the release through the posture, or the suspension of the crown of the head, please realign and reorganize in single whip. Sit back. So you're always putting your body, returning it in each move, you're returning your body to being like a balanced scale. Okay? Returning it to its best, most simple, uncluttered position you can find in each posture. Single whip is a good one to change back to. Draw back. Turn. Hips. The arms, shoulders and arms follow. Turn the hips, the shoulders and arms follow. Step left. Step right to 10:30. Sink onto the right foot so the left heel leaves. No weight in the left foot. Turn and jab. Jab arrives as you turn to the corner. As you finish the turn, you finish the sinking, you finish the jab. 9 o'clock, punch under elbow. Turn open, turn back, step left. Look for the full support, 100% in the left leg. No weight in the right. Turn open, no weight in the right. Turn back, can lift the right toes. Step behind, fully transfer the weight and the connection and the stability to the right foot. Turn open, turn back, step left, fully transfer the weight, the connection and the stability to the left foot. Turn open, turn back, step, looking for the connection over the right foot, 100%. Last one on the right, turn open, turn back, step. When you step, the thigh should be vertical. Wherever the toes go down, don't reach with the thigh. Thigh hanging, vertical. Wherever the toes go down, that's your reach for the step. Last on the left. Down, flying. Moving on to the right foot, turning and sinking. Here's another folding in the hips. Folding in the hips to draw the movement on in and then forward onto the right foot to raise the left heel. So first stay in the center and turn in, drawing the hands in, and then move on to the front foot, raising the left heel. Change hands, step out, waving hands like clouds. Change hands, step in, waving hands like clouds. Sink, change hands, step out, turn. Sink, folding. Moving on to the foot, change hands, step in. Sink. Moving on to the foot, change hands, step out. 5, 6, 7. Transverse single width. Single width. And in single width, just make sure you are organized. Shoulder width, square to 9 o'clock. Center stable, body upright, shoulders released. Accurate posture in the arms, gaze forward. Snake creeps down. Turning to draw the arm in. Turning to open the foot and come through. Golden Rooster stands on left leg. Golden Rooster stands on right leg. Turn to the corner. Scoop up the center of the body with the right fingers as you step behind with the left. Sit back. In this posture, you should have all your weight in the left foot. The left foot is facing 9 o'clock. No weight in the right foot. The left hand on the hip joint. The right hand in the push position, facing 10:30. 2 turns. Turn open and back. Hands cross. Turn open. Palms down. Right underneath. Turn back. The right slides out. Forearms vertical. As you drop the arms, they're going to be nice and long because the shoulders are dropping. The hands are at 90 degrees, so the right hand to 10:30, the left hand to 7:30. As the hands come parallel to the ground, that's when the toe goes out. And relax. Step forwards. Turn the step to 9 o'clock. Swing up onto the right foot, lifting the hands, bringing the left in. Now I'm facing 7:30, all the weight in the right foot. The right foot is facing 9 o'clock. 2 turns, turn open and turn back, facing 7:30. Turn open, both hands palm down, the left underneath. Turn back, forearms vertical. Continue releasing the shoulders. Pick up the knee, separate left foot, relax down. Turn to the right, step behind. Cross hands facing 3 o'clock. The right on the outside, the left on the inside, both palms towards me. All my weight on the right foot, facing 3 o'clock. Turn to 6 o'clock. The hands turn over, both palms away from me. Now the left hand is on the inside when I'm facing 3 o'clock. They turn over, so now the left hand is on the outside. So it's like I've got, I'll use that pen again. It's, that's no good. What I need is a coin or something. It's like I've got a coin between the wrists. And as I turn my hands over, I don't let that coin drop. So they start facing me and they end up away from me. Right on the outside, now the right is on the inside. As I turn back from 6 o'clock, the forearms drop vertically. Then as I drop the shoulders, they drop horizontal to the ground at the same time as I pick up the knee and push out the heel. Then I turn to 3 o'clock and bring the hands in. So this position here is very similar to Embrace Tiger Return to Mountain. Embrace Tiger Return to Mountain, I've got the right foot forward and the hands in this position. In this one here, all my weight is on the right foot, but the hands are very similar. They're resting on the center line. So if I do that move from here, separate, left, swing through to the right, I step behind and I come right round. So here I'm facing 3 o'clock. I turn my hips and the hands turn over. Now I'm facing 6 o'clock. My foot is to the corner. As I turn back, my waist is facing the corner, 4:30. My right hand goes down to 6 o'clock. My left hand goes 6 o'clock. My right hand goes down to 3 o'clock. Pick up the knee, push out the heel. In this position, my hands are at 90 degrees. And then I relax and turn. And this turning brings in the right fingers. All my weight stays in the back foot. Turn open. Turn back, brush left knee, twist up. Key thing about brush left knee twist step is sink into your centrally stable position. Released, connected, and then a small expansion of the back knee through to both arms, like you're just reaching out with the fingers. It's the shoulders settle. Have a go with that section from the kicks. So you're starting facing 10:30. Your left foot is facing 9 o'clock. All your weight is in the left. Into the kicking section. Open. Turn back to face 10:30. Open. Turn back to separate right foot to 10:30. Relax. Walk forwards. Swing up to 7:30. Turn open. Turn back facing 7:30. Turn open. Turn back. Separate left foot. 7:30. Relax down. Turn the hips to the right, step behind, facing 3:30. Facing 3 o'clock. Turn to 6 o'clock, hands turn over, turn back, kick with heel and release. Facing 3 o'clock, draw open, turn back and fold, step, rush left knee twist step to 3 o'clock. Have a go with that section a couple of times. Let me have a look, see if there's anything you're not clear on or untoward. I'll see what I can see. In your own time, I can look at everybody at the same time. Okay. This part of the body, when you let it go, it's quite heavy. It contains right from the elbows. This is the heaviest part of the body up here. The arms, this part of the body isn't very heavy. So you want to make sure that you use this bit sinking like it helps stabilize you. It's like if you were to carry two heavy suitcases, you could either use your muscles and it would keep you unstable, or you could or like shopping bags of shopping, you could either let the bags of shopping settle and help stabilize you, or you can keep them up here. So how we do our movements in Tai Chi directly affects our stability. How we use our shoulder girdle and how we let our shoulders soften, which means softening the chest, softening the middle back and the lower back. So when I go into this position here, what I'm seeing, most people's circle is a little bit small, right? When you have a small circle, you'll be holding on. You want your circle to be expansive and big. This means that the shoulders are relaxed more, the weight of the elbow is given up, and the circles are much, much fuller. So think of this like a beach ball, and you're letting the outside of the arms fill against the skin of the ball on the inside. So it's really nice and round rather than being held. Let the shoulders go and fill out. When you turn, now the arms are connected. When you turn, they'll be connected. When you turn back, it's the movement of the body that slides this one out. Here, again, sink the shoulders to drop the elbows. Use this for stability. Then you can pick up the foot and push it out. Don't snap at it and try and do it with the arms. Use the shoulders to help drop you into your foot. Think of the weight of the shoulders sinking into your foot when you do the move. Have another go. Feel the use of the shoulders changing, chest releasing, the middle back and the lower back changing to give you the movement of the weight of the upper body. Let the weight of the upper body, what I'm trying to say is let the weight of the upper body press you onto the ground. Yeah, better. Much better. Yeah, okay. Good. Take a break, please. So I want to talk about awareness of the body. If you're reminded to do something, say you're reminded to use the shoulders differently. Right? You're reminded to use the shoulders. Everything goes into the form. Oh yeah, reminded to do the shoulders, reminded to do the shoulders. You remember because we've just talked about it, or you've been asked to do it, and you're able to do it. What you want to try and get in your practice is instead of it coming from remembering, it comes from feeling that there's something not quite going. The body memory of what it feels like when you drop your shoulders. Ah, that feeling isn't there. Make the feeling be there. You don't have to think about it. It's not as kind of like you don't have to translate, do something, make it happen, there it is. You notice it, it's not there, put it there. So it's the body itself that's reminding you, the sensations themselves that are reminding you that you don't feel stable. You feel a bit of tension in the leg. Ah, change the leg, more stable. It doesn't have to come from remembering what to do. You don't have to have a list of Taiji principles that you need to know about. As your practice develops, it becomes, I'm feeling my body doesn't feel like it really used to feel when I did it really clearly. So the instigator, and what I'm trying to say is the instigator is the sensation itself. The memory comes from the sensation. It doesn't come from the list of what you have to do. So basically we're working from the inside, not from the outside. So we'll talk a lot about keeping the foot in the same part of the foot on the ground the whole time so that it really becomes a sensation you feel, so that you can use that sensation to direct the changes in the body. You know then, if you're putting too much effort in, you'll move your foot on the ground. It'll roll on the ground. If you're not loose enough, you'll turn your hips and your hips will pull your foot out. So you can use the sensations of the foot on the ground, because it's a strong sensation. The foot on the ground is a strong sensation. You can use it to adjust and return to. So make sure that every movement doesn't rock your foot on the ground. It comes from the feeling as it's happening, not I mustn't roll my foot on the ground. I need to move in this way. Oh yeah. Then you translate it into the movement. That's too slow. Actually, in the movement itself, you're making adjustments. So if you move and you notice it's tight, you change. In the form, if you notice you're in the wrong position, you change. You don't wait until you have to think about it. Thinking is always one step in the past. By the time you change into your body from thinking, you're one step behind. You need to move as you feel it. This is moving into intermediate level Tai Chi. And choose a simple idea, a simple sensation in the body. You can practice that, like the foot on the ground. So it doesn't come from having to keep the knee in place. It doesn't come from having to seat the hips. It doesn't come from having to loosen the lower back. Those things happen because you've got a willingness to release and you feel where's tight in the body. It comes from the body sensations. I'm going to leave you with that thought to mull over and to see how it lands on your own practice, how that idea sits with the way you practice, how you approach your practice, and what you get out of your practice will be affected by whether you approach it from the inside or whether you approach it from the outside. Both are valid, but each is valid for different things you're learning and different stages of learning. It's not one's right and what's wrong. It's just, can you move more into feeling the body itself more and more rather than directing the body? So leave you with that for the week. Next week we will do new move. Didn't do one this week. We'll do one next week. Okay. Any takeaways before we sign off for the night from tonight's class? Hi, Kath.
Hi. I mean, I'm still struggling with my knee,
Well,
so be
yeah,
kind.
sure.
But I was just that holding the coin in between the wrists when you
Yeah,
turn.
yeah,
That was something that's helped because I think I was kind of like turning them incorrectly. But the
right.
thought of holding the coin between the wrists is that,
And when you do that, see if you can hold that coin as lightly as possible,
yeah, yeah.
right? And see if you can get some movement into the shoulders rather than it just being the wrists. See if you can get some movement in the
Move
shoulders.
the wrists via the shoulders.
Yeah, it's not going to be like, because the wrists are moving quite a lot and the shoulders are going to move very small amount.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
see if you can have a relationship between the shoulder and the movement of the hands, not just the hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And take it easy with that knee as well.
Yes.
Just a little bit
It's a
of
lot
practice.
it's a lot better.
Yeah,
Still affects the sinking because
sure.
I'm very much aware of it not being it's not 100% yet, but it's getting there. So
Good, good. That's good to hear. I mean, these things take time.
yeah.
Things definitely take time. Things take longer as well as we get on a bit, you know. It's not like when we were 20, is it? That's for sure. You know, the body takes time to heal, and we have to acknowledge that. So yeah, stay with it and don't overdo it. Keep it moving. Do a little bit every day, but don't overdo it. That's for sure. Great. Good. Okay. Well, look, have a good week, and I'll send you the video, send you the recording.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thanks,
Bye.
Dave.
Bye for now. Bye.